Have you ever felt the silent tremor shaking the ground beneath you, only for the world to remain oblivious? That's what it feels like right now with XRP. I confess, sometimes, I feel like I'm grasping waves of electricity with my bare hands as the markets pulse and ripple, and most just stare at the surface, unaware of the current underneath. But something undeniable is happening here, and I need to share this with you, right now, because if you look away, just for a moment, you might miss the next tide. Before we start, if you crave this kind of raw, immediate insight, where emotion meets market reality, trust me, you want to hit that subscribe button to join our family here at Crypto 101 Central. This journey is one I want you on. Every step, none of us should ride these waves alone. And don't forget the bell. Not just for alerts, but because every time it chimes, it's a pulse, a call, a reminder that these moments, these stories, they matter, and you're right here for them, as they happen. Let me breathe in for a moment. The world is talking, but few are listening. Months ago, I heard analysts, those grizzled, world-weary voices of traditional finance, speaking on networks that usually shy away from risk, from dreamers, from us. Yet here they were, discussing XRP, not just for being another coin, but for its marriage of blockchain and artificial intelligence, its deep roots in stablecoin technology, and, this is the kicker, the potential for a short-term return that even Bitcoin, the titan, cannot currently match. Those aren't my words. They aren't even the words of crypto dreamers. They're coming from financial guardians of the old world, and suddenly, the air feels very different. XRP. Let that name linger for a second. According to millions, retail investors, people like you and me, it's the second most beloved crypto globally, right after Bitcoin. But in America, something wild is happening, quietly but thunderously. Over $10 million has just surged into the newly launched XRP spot ETF from Bitwise. $10 million, pouring in while so many eyes are on shakier assets. In this volatile market, that is a waterfall roaring in the dusk. My heart beats faster just thinking about it. I want you to see how many threads are weaving right now. Ripple, the company behind XRP, has recently made acquisitions the market once doubted, acquisitions that some called pure speculation. But today, no, this is not tomorrow. It's not in far-off quarters. Their technologies are generating revenue, liquidity, momentum. I feel it. I almost smell it. A tang of rain coming before the storm. This isn't just my hunch. Financial programs are dissecting the collision between artificial intelligence and crypto. They talk about Ethereum, Solana, the unstoppable chain reactions inside these networks, but always, XRP threads through the conversation. Imagine small rivers making their way into the ocean. Micropayments, liquidity, the future whispered in every transaction, building, unseen, unstoppable. Maybe you're listening with skepticism. Maybe you wonder how any of this matters to you. Here's my truth. When old world analysts start placing bets on blockchain, on AI-driven payment structures, when they single out XRP as integrated not just with imagination, but with banks, with institutions, everyday utility, that's not hype, that's history in the making. Ask yourself, where is the money flowing? Sometimes, that's all it takes to see a tidal shift. AI is not just a toy anymore. It crowns entire ecosystems, stitching together blockchains, banks, and, perhaps for the first time, the real world. Microsoft, with its vast reach across desktops, Apple, with its grip on the future of digital wallets. Yet, in these conversations, there's a sense that all of them, in their different ways, circle back to the same crossroads. Payment systems, integration, more seamless, more efficient. We're talking stable coins, cross-border transfers, real value moving at the speed of thought. And if your mind is skipping over to Ethereum or Bitcoin, the so-called names of crypto, let's talk directly. Bitcoin, that old king, is perched around $70,000. Ethereum, floating under $3,000. XRP, beneath $2. Yes, 2, and Solana under 100. Now, Pause there. This is where human nature enters the dance. The urge to reach for what feels possible, affordable, within your grasp. When prices spiral into the stratosphere, we watch. But when an asset sits within reach, dreams start to take root. People move, hungry, eager, for the thing they believe could multiply, and XRP, with its price still below $2, gleams with promise. To ground all this, because you know I don't offer financial advice, never, not once, I lean into the facts. Ripple isn't standing still. It's charging into the future of stable coins, building a vast new infrastructure powered by end-to-end solutions. You might have heard the names. Palisade and Rail. Acquisitions now bearing fruit, transforming Ripple's platform into something that feels less like a company and more like an artery in a living, global body. This platform now moves over $100 billion in transaction volume. Not a fantasy. Real money, moving in the real world, right now. It lets businesses collect, convert, hold, pay out, fiat and stable coins, no longer separated, but woven together in one place. If you stand on the edge of this, maybe part of you wonders, but isn't Ripple for institutions? Isn't retail just supposed to watch from the sidelines? I get it, but let me draw you closer. All the signs point to one inevitable conclusion. Market structure is shifting, and as soon as the regulatory curtain lifts, the doors will swing open for everyone. That tide is not waiting for anyone. Another milestone, Hidden Road. Remember that name, officially live as of March the 2nd on the NSCC directory, meaning that it now serves as a bridge between the old guard, traditional finance, and the wild, sea-swept world of decentralized finance. The two once seemed worlds apart. Now, they bleed into each other, paving the way for real liquidity, especially for the XRP ledger. Now, pause for a heartbeat. If you haven't already, press that like button. Every like isn't just an algorithmic blip. It's a pulse across this community, a testament that you are feeling this story with me, here and now. And while you're here, I want to know, what does all this make you feel? Where do you see this story taking us? Drop your thoughts in the comments. It's there, in those raw, unscripted moments, that our community forges itself. I read every single one. Let's take a final, deeper dive. This is not only about numbers, mergers, or financial jargon. It's about the very nature of change. Doppler Finance and HexTrust are igniting a metamorphosis for XRP, expanding wrapped XRP and multi-chain applications, forging new bridges across the digital world. Imagine, for a moment, what it means to wrap one asset across many ecosystems. Interoperability, boundless liquidity, transparency. We're not building silos. We're setting networks aflame until the borders between them dissolve. I press my palms against the present and feel the old world dissolving beneath my fingers. As XRP becomes increasingly institutional ready, as risk management evolves from an abstract ideal to daily, transparent reality, the promise of the ecosystem transforms. Retail and institutional investors, once estranged, finding common ground in a currency designed for liquidity, for integration, for the future. Today, as I share these thoughts with you, my heart thunders with urgency and hope. Because this is not just another market movement. This is a story of us, of evolution, of the ceaseless drive towards something greater, more connected, more real. So if you've found even a sliver of resonance in these words, if you've ever wondered where the intersection of technology and humanity will next shatter expectation, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you set that bell so you don't miss these pulses of insight. And when this video closes, I invite you to delve deeper. Browse through our archive, feel the stories, join this ongoing heartbeat. Because the waves are only getting higher, and together, we'll ride them, eyes open, hearts fiercely beating, always searching for the next truth beneath the surface.